This week in Boomtown, back to school means looking ahead. From artificial intelligence to hands-on career training, we're asking what today's students need to succeed in tomorrow's economy. Plus, with Central Ohio booming, it is no secret people just can't wait to visit the Buckeye State.
So this isn't just about a day trip or an overnight stay or a weekend, but it's about supporting jobs, it's about bringing new people to Columbus, and it's about really growing our community.
The latest numbers that show Ohio truly is part of it all. And the debate over data centers, it just never ends here in Central Ohio. How the EPA is weighing in on the technology as more cities want to put a pause on construction. Central Ohio is booming. We all see it, and we all can certainly feel it. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. Science excitement right there. Introducing tech to students in Ohio. Dozens in Southwest Ohio got a chance this week to see what a career in life sciences looks like. Doesn't that look fun? COSI teamed up with Ohio Life Sciences to bring the Hive Roadshow to Westchester. This immersive demo with backing from Boeing connects students to careers that are focused on science, innovation, collaboration, and problem solving as well. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. We're going to hear from a tech expert a little later on how these school visits translates into future jobs. But first, some headlines. Healthcare is expanding in Athens. Ohio University this week announced a $10 million initiative to improve rural health outcomes in Southeast Ohio. Now, this will not only better connect healthcare employers and schools and training providers, but also recruit and retain professionals in areas that lack proper health care. Two cities are celebrating the opening of a new park and highlighting what it means to preserve green space in a growing region. Bryce Park is on property owned by the city of Columbus, but it sits in Reynoldsburg. The new park features scenic walking trails, a nature playground, and wetlands, all while providing vital stormwater management as well. Well, Ohio just keeps getting busier and more people keep visiting. We're talking nearly 245 million people visiting the Buckeye State last year, generating, look at this, nearly $58 billion in economic impact, all while supporting more than 47,000 jobs. That's a lot of numbers there. It is just reinforcing tourism's role as one of Ohio's strongest economic drivers. And to keep up, the state announced a new partnership to help promote tourism. Tourism Ohio is working now with the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority to show people why Ohio is the heart of it all. That starts in the Columbus Convention Center, the biggest in the state. The hope is that visitors will see more than just a capital city.
An exciting new partnership will allow those who come, experience, and enjoy Columbus for all it has to offer to stop, pause, stay a little longer, and go venture outside of the 614 and take in other destinations that really feature everything that's great about our state.
Well, Tourism Ohio last year had 245 million visitors. That is now a record. And more than 90% of people who stayed overnight say they are likely to come back again within the next year. Well, now to some business news. The largest family-owned independent bottler in the Pepsi franchise system just celebrated a milestone here in Columbus. G&J Pepsi just completed a $45 million expansion at its facility in the Milo Grogan neighborhood, just northeast of downtown Columbus. But this is not the only one. We often talk about the billion-dollar tech projects changing Central Ohio, but 10 TV's Ava Hedges shows us why leaders say a diverse economy is what will keep Boomtown growing.
2, 3.
That's video from the groundbreaking at Calgon Carbon Thursday afternoon. Executives say this plant is where PFAS are filtered out of our city's drinking water.
Studies have shown that they're harmful to humans when they drink water, and there is PFAS in our water across the United States.
I asked CEO and president of Calgon Carbon, Steve Schott, and Vice President Janelle Brewer about the importance of a non-tech company for Columbus's growth.
We hear about tech all of the time, tech development. So why is this type of industry just as important as technological development?
Oh, this industry is important for clean water and clean air, and tech needs that too.
Earlier Thursday, another major milestone for a Columbus-based company, also non-tech, showing why Central Ohio is a key player in diverse expansion. G&J Pepsi completed a $45 million expansion at its facility that's just northeast of downtown Columbus. Jonas Peterson, CEO of One Columbus, says Pepsi's expansion helps Columbus compete not just in one or two industries.
We compete across the board, and that's why you're seeing us be wildly successful.
In fact, Peterson says Columbus is actually producing jobs faster than any other region in the Midwest, twice as fast as our competitors, Indianapolis, but says there's still room to grow.
So we're in a good position, but we're not content. We know we got a lot more work to do if we're really going to bring prosperity to all the residents across the region.
Thank you, Ava. That was Ava Hedges reporting. You know, with all this growth, it could be challenging navigating busier roads. Delaware County is hoping to improve transportation services to help support this larger population. But it could cost shoppers a little more at the register. The Delaware County Transit Board is now asking voters this November to approve a permanent sales tax increase that would help pay for some added routes.
We do have a county-wide demand response service, but that's a call-ahead, 2-day call-ahead service. It's a little bit antiquated. It's not where today's services really demand and what people want. This will provide the opportunity to provide service to all corners of the county in a robust manner.
So here's what the executive director also says. The goal is to expand that public transit across Delaware County, places like Delaware, Sunbury, and Galena. The plan would also bring new service to Powell and parts of Liberty and Orange Townships. Welcome back. We are ramping up to back to school season, and that means schools are doing whatever they can to get kids ready for the classroom of tomorrow. Joining us now is Brad Griffith, the president and co-founder of Buckeye Innovation. Welcome to Boomtown.
Thank you so much, Angela. I appreciate you having me.
Always glad having you back because you just have so much knowledge about everything that is going on tech-wise, AI, what's happening in schools. So let's talk about this. First, for those who don't know, Buckeye Innovation, you built web applications for major organizations, Ohio State, Smart Columbus, the list goes on and on, right?
Absolutely.
It does. What are you hearing in terms of what those types of companies are looking for right now when it comes to our future workforce?
Good question. Well, thanks for having me back.
Thanks.
Last time we were here, we had a lot of gadgets on the table.
Did.
So no gadgets today.
Okay.
Next year, I'll come back from CES and
Okay.
have some more gadgets for you. At Buckeye Innovation, we work primarily with nonprofits and local governments. With the Columbus Library, one of my absolute favorite clients from the lifetime of the business. They are doing incredible things. We can talk about some of the great training that they're offering. Mostly what we do is we build technology that helps these organizations who are working with people, closing equity gaps. We build technology that helps them do that more effectively so they can help more people.
So when they say, here's what we need in terms of how these kids today are being trained, what are they looking for, something specific?
Sure. So, the Columbus Library is an interesting one because they are actually working with kids and they're training them. From a workforce standpoint, I think you were asking me about, we definitely see that there's a need for knowledge and understanding of the tools that are available. And there's an interesting gap right now in what people actually come out of school knowing because we're trying to keep up. The higher ed universities are trying to keep up with what are the skills people actually need. So I think when we see our clients, what they're looking for, it's some of the things they've always looked for. Efficiency, how can we stay on top of the latest technology? They need to figure out what can we be doing? That's the big question. Like, what role does this new tech play in our lives? How can this make us more effective?
And aside from that new tech, we just saw some video of the fact that a lot of these, while the schools are focusing on STEM education, we're also seeing this shift from like this workforce shift of trade schools, vocational schools. That's huge. The state just invested $300 million for a new workforce initiative. So how is that changing the game?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think trades also are very important. Tech education is critically important. I'm a big fan of programs like color-coded labs or training people to shift jobs into technology and as well as to apply technology in other industries. So the workforce is changing. We hire a lot of apprentices and interns. We have 6 interns this summer. Who are, it's interns this year, actually, it's been very interesting. There are a lot of universities or even donor-funded programs that are paying the salaries, paying the wages of interns if companies will provide them opportunities.
Wow.
So we're seeing a big need in workforce development across the board, but really the non-traditional workers are people who now, as technology advances faster and faster, they need to adapt and learn some technology skills regardless of what field you're in.
Sure.
So I'm glad that the partnership with Meta, Intel's doing some interesting things as well.
Yeah,
a lot of great
them
workforce development.
And let's talk about AI. It's literally everywhere, and Ohio recently became the first state to require every public school, we should note public school, to have an AI policy. What does that say about where we're headed?
Sure. It's public, it's charter, it's STEM schools. There's some private schools excluded from that. It means AI is here. We need to be looking at AI and understanding it better. It does mean also, because Ohio is moving quickly, Ohio decided in their 2025 budget that this was going to be required of all these schools. We are a leader in the country. Boomtown talks about how do we lead? How is Ohio doing well? We are leading. There are organizations and school districts, there are folks who are coming to Ohio to learn how we are doing what we're doing. I think it's great that we're setting policies to try to understand AI.
Do we have the capacity, though, to teach it at the rate that AI is growing?
Does anyone? I mean, it's hard. It's hard to keep up with the pace of AI. I think we're very well positioned. Ohio State University is also a leader in how they are incorporating AI into the classroom, requiring faculty and staff to incorporate AI into their curriculum. So I think we are very well positioned. We have great research institutions like Battelle as well, who provide a lot of talent. We've got Drive Capital, we have the Ohio Fund. We've got a lot of efforts going on right now that I think bolster that opportunity for us to understand AI.
So I don't want to be the pessimist on this one, but AI, while there's progress, we do know that it's also replacing some jobs out there. How do you see that impacting our overall growth and economy, where AI is growing, but we're losing jobs that humans used to do?
Absolutely. I will try not to geek out on you too much, but I've been talking
Go
a lot
ahead,
about this concept called the Jevons paradox. Have you heard this term?
Tell me.
The idea, we hear about AI, how it's going to make us so much more efficient. We may all be able to sit on the beach and do nothing someday. But really what happens when you apply new technology, it makes us more efficient. We end up busier because we just do more. So that is what I'm hoping. I'm an optimist typically in life in general. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to find that AI is yet another technology that helps us be more efficient, helps us to take things that may be dangerous or error prone or tedious. We can automate those things and we can do more of the things that we want to be doing. More of the connection, more of the things that only a human can do. So I'm optimistic about that, but we do need to be cautious and figure out what is the effect. For instance, as we look at developer needs, we hire developers, designers, content strategists. When we are hiring developers, there are a lot of companies now who say, I don't want junior developers. Some of the big tech companies, for instance, we don't want to hire junior developers. We only want mid-level and senior developers.
Okay.
What happens 10 years down the road when no one has ever offered someone a junior developer job? There are no more mid and senior developers because there wasn't that pipeline. So we need to watch that, in my opinion. But I think it provides a lot of opportunity. Hopefully we all be able to do more of what we really want to be doing, and we'll let technology automate the other parts.
I like that hope. I'll be the yin to your yang.
That
so we can balance that out.
We need that balance.
We do. You recently learned about a unique AI summer program. I think it's at Denison University, but there are other things that are happening. So tell me more about what students can learn today.
Absolutely. There are a lot of great programs going on. I think you've got a child in one program as well.
She's in a summer camp right now for AI,
So there's some great programs going on. Denison University, I was very impressed with what they put together. I wish I had known about it earlier so we could have been involved in it. But they had an AI summer camp where a lot of the students came very skeptical about summers, high school students. They were mentored by college students at Denison, and they talked about AI safety and guardrails and what is AI and what is not AI, what can it and can it do. And then they actually partnered with nonprofits and did projects to help those kids know how can you use AI to help nonprofits. So that's exactly the kind of thing that I try and do at Buckeye Innovation. How can we apply technology to solve problems that maybe couldn't have been solved a couple of years ago, just weren't cost effective. I love how it's being used.
Well, and it speaks to our mission really here at Boomtown. While there's growth and AI growth, we see challenges, but what are the solutions? So it's great to see those solutions coming online.
And it goes beyond Dennis. I mean, you've got a camp that your daughter's going to. Columbus Library is putting on some great programs. In fact, Anyone who wants to learn more about AI, there's an Intro to AI class that the Columbus Library is offering for free. I was looking at the schedule. You can go.
Okay.
ColumbusLibrary.org.
Okay.
Search their events. They have a bunch of them coming up next week even. So go sign up for them.
Yep.
You can even just show up to the class.
That's great.
It's fantastic. There's a digital skills hub as well at connectcentralohio.com that has additional digital skills classes. So this is big. We need to be learning about AI. We need to understand the capabilities and what do we and don't we want to use AI for. So whether you're yin or yang on it, you know what's possible.
Here, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, final question for you, Brad, is that a lot of parents hear AI is in my school, my child's using it in some way. It can be fearful for some parents because
absolutely
we don't know much about it. So what are the questions that I should be asking my child's school when it comes to this new AI policy that we're seeing?
That's a great question. I was thinking about what if you ask, can I get in on some of this AI education?
Yeah.
I feel like the parents probably ought to be learning as well. There are other topics that parents might worry about what their school is going to teach their kids. And just like that, I would encourage you to say, tell me more about your curriculum. Tell me about your AI policy. As a state, we're requiring that as of July 1st, every school district is required to have an AI policy. Ask what the AI policy is. Say, can I read the policy? Can I learn about it? What are you going to be teaching the kids about AI? And then maybe even volunteer in class. Okay, if they'll let you volunteer in class or after school programs, I think that's really good. I do think it's important to know, does your district or your school have a policy that is very pro-AI, very anti-AI? I think the policies that I've seen so far, we have some that are very optimistic, forward-looking, let's talk about all the great things you can do with AI, but most of them are either moderate or we are only going to allow pre-approved, absolutely necessary AI use in our schools.
So there's no standard public policy that the state said implement this, just come up with something.
Right, they did give a framework. They gave a template that could be used.
Yeah.
There are also some consulting firms who offer up templates that some school districts like Pickerington has adopted. But yeah, it's up to each district. So you do see, and I think it's good that districts can decide some things, but those are the questions we should be asking. What are you teaching us? And I've been asking as my daughters come home and say, Dad, did you use AI today? What about the environmental impact?
Huge, yeah.
I care about that, and I need to be considering that. So I think it's important that we ask those questions and we understand what are our kids learning? What can our kids teach us? My kids teach me a lot of things.
All the time.
So yeah, don't be afraid of it, but you can only be afraid of it if you don't really know what's being taught.
You got to embrace it in some way. So
yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Brad Griffith, Buckeye Innovation. Thank you so much. Always a
Thanks, Angela.
great insight. We'll have you back on soon.
I appreciate it.
Boy, that conversation could have gone on forever, right? Well, as we've reported for many months now, many communities around Ohio are joining the pushback against data centers. Water usage, a huge sticking point. So look at this CBS News analyst that found by year 2028, data centers could use up to at least 469 billion gallons of water each year. And for context, that's about a third of what Americans use to take a shower in 2023. And nationwide, we have more than 4,000 data centers now, with rural southern areas expected to see the most development. So that brings us to now this story from 10 TV's Doug Petcash. It has now been 8 months since the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency proposed a new permitting process for data centers that discharge water. Doug explains where that proposal stands today and what community advocates are saying about it.
Community advocate Amy Swank has followed data center development closely since one was built near her neighborhood several years ago. And she's watching the EPA's decision on permits for data center water discharge closely.
Are there things like chemicals that could be part of the runoff that's in the water that somehow changes the makeup of the streams and lakes that it is eventually running into?
Right now, data centers in Ohio can only apply for permits to discharge water individually. If the Ohio EPA approves the new general permitting process, the standards would apply to all data centers. Tuesday on social media, both Republican Senator Bernie Moreno and Democratic candidate for governor Amy Acton separately made comments opposing discharging water into Ohio's lakes, rivers, and streams. Environmental groups have concerns, too, about potential impacts on rural water systems, as 10 TV reported in January.
It's like a small city, the discharge that will come out of these. And that will, if they don't have a sewage treatment plant, that will go into the streams or the river or another body of water.
In a statement, the Ohio EPA said Ohio EPA does not allow discharges that harm aquatic life, recreation, or human health. Every permit includes strict limits and monitoring requirements to ensure water quality standards are met at the state and federal levels. Swank is anxious to see what the Ohio EPA decides.
And frankly, I'm still optimistic that they say a general permit isn't a good idea for Ohio and they rely on individual permits.
Thank you, Doug. Now, an Ohio EPA spokesperson says the agency is still reviewing more than 7,000 public comments, and there's no timeline for a final, but the standards will be strict. Well, meantime, Ohio lawmakers, as you can see here, well, they have yet to pass any data center laws. The grassroots group Conserve Ohio is now working to get a data center ban on the ballot, and they're hoping to do that by sometime next year. But take a look at this. The local pushback continues. A petition rejecting an Amazon data center in Sunbury is officially going to voters this November. The Delaware County Board of Elections says it certified more than double the signatures needed, and the data center located right off Vans Valley Road, but residents have now argued that it's just too close to homes and schools. Amazon says the data center would create high-paying jobs with this $2 billion project. Plain City also considering a 6-month data center moratorium. Leaders say they want to use the time researching the impact on the community. So we'll, of course, keep you posted.
Hey everyone, if you've been around here a while, you know we're always chasing something. It's not about being...
How cool is this? Take a look at what's being called a next level greenhouse. This is video from Groovy Plants Ranch. It may look like a quirky garden center, but this ranch in Marengo is helping grow Central Ohio's tourism economy, especially in Morrow County. What started as a small family business has really become a destination now, drawing visitors from across Ohio and really around the country with more than 600 varieties of plants, themed gardens, special events, and of course, online sales. So if you've got that green thumb, might be a good place to go. We do know growth comes with its challenges, the growing pains, and many solutions. So we do want to hear from you. If you have questions related to Central Ohio's rapid growth, let us know. Text 614-460-3345. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you can always drop a question in the comment section as well. I want to thank you again for watching This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. We'll see you again next week.